Okay, good morning, everyone. I got more sleep today. I felt like a fucking retard yesterday. I didn't really realize it until I got enough sleep. I'm kind of tired now, but in a different way. Because I just woke up, did the cat litter. I had a 44-point spread. It was supposed to be a 49-point spread or a 50-point spread, so within 6 points. For anyone who doesn't know, the spread is the difference between your systolic and diastolic pressure. It's supposed to be 50 points at 120 over 80, and for every 3 points over 120 or 3 points less than 120, it's supposed to be 1 point over 50 or 1 point less than 50. And you take your spread in the morning before you do anything, before you drink any water. And it tells you if you drank enough yesterday. And yesterday I drank 16 of these. So, and I only filled them up to here, 500 milliliters. So, that is, what was I going to say? I forget what I was going to say. 8 liters. Oh, yeah. I'm on 11 days. Today is day 11 of my fodder fast. Today is a critical day because after today I only have 10 days left. I've reached the halfway point of my water fast. So that is very exciting. I didn't get any message from Marina, so she basically broke up with me randomly by saying, "Hey, I can't handle this." Really turned me on. It felt abusive. You know, the consensus was in our house that you at least deserved a phone call, Z-Bubs. You know, just such a calloused way to break up with someone. Just, "Hey, I can't handle this," just out of nowhere, just randomly. And so yesterday I was having some pretty dark thoughts that I probably wouldn't tell anyone. And, you know, like going to Switzerland. And so, but I got enough sleep today and I felt surprisingly better. You know, when you don't get enough sleep, you're in a different kind of mindset. I was thinking, you know, there was this one girl, Elise, and I woke up in the morning and I wanted sex, and I was like, "Hey," kind of pawing at her. She's like, "No, I'm tired." And I pawed at her again, like, "Come on." And she was like, "No, I'm tired." I think it was like the second or third time, and then she had sex. And then afterwards, she said, you know, during sex, she said, you know, my ex-boyfriend, he used to be rough with me too. Well, we were rough. You know, she wanted me to be rough. She liked it rough. And she wanted me to get rougher and rougher. But that time, she said, I told him to punch me in the face, but he wouldn't do it. And I thought, "Are you asking me to punch you in the face?" I was like, "I don't want to punch you in the face. Like, that's too much." And then later on, I was thinking, I'll bet that she was asking me to punch her in the face so she could charge me with rape. Because I was kind of pawing at her. And there were a few other girls I did that with. Like, there's one kind of down the street. And I don't think I was like pawing at their tits or their ass. Kind of just like, you know, in my mind, that's probably sexual assault when someone's like, "No, I'm not into it." And you're like, "Come on, come on." I think that's sexual assault. And so, but I don't think I was like pawing at their tits or ass, but maybe I was, at least with the one down the street. I'm not exactly sure. And, you know, but it wasn't forceful or aggressive or anything. Like, there was no threat in it. You know, Ron Jeremy's in prison for rape, for a whole bunch of like rapes. And, you know, he said I was never forceful with any of them. And, you know, given the fact that, like, you know, it's strange. Like, I saw this post on Reddit, and it said, "How many like, tell your experience of being sexual assaulted as a guy." And there was like endless, just like, I didn't scroll through all of them. Like, it was just endless of guys saying, "Yeah, it's like all the time." Like, the amount of times girls have grabbed my dick and balls at like at a bar, and you go through the realization within 30 seconds that, oh, this is arousing, this is hot. But if I did that to her, I'd get arrested. and there's no bouncer I can tell, there's no police I can tell, and within 30 seconds you have this realization. Like so many, like the girl drugged me, the girl got me drunk, I woke up, she was riding me. And then other stuff like, my mother-in-law when I was such and such years old, like just countless stories like that, and she's still up. Or you're going to do this with me, or else I'm going to call the police and file a rape charge against you. And then she didn't tell me she had stopped taking her birth control, and that's how her baby was born. And then I left the marriage, and now I'm looked at as an outcast by everyone. Or some woman when I was such and such age did things to me, and now people look at me like I'm a predator. Like just because I was abused when I was that age, and now people think, like when I tell people, they say, well, that means you're going to be a predator now too. Like just endless stories. And but anyway, there was another one who I did that with, and I think another one. Now, I wasn't sure if they all pissed me off or something. I was trying to justify it in my mind and be like, no, that's not what it was. I was just getting even. But the reason why that became relevant to me was because on some level I thought Marina must have, like as soon as Marina got her mom involved with our relationship, I was like, it's done. Like it's done. Her mom's going to put an end to this real quick. And that's kind of weird. Like she has to ask her family permission to visit me. Like that's pretty weird, you know? That's like really super weird. I don't know. She's like devout religious. And well, you know, the one who I was pawing at her ass a bunch of times, she sat on my face with shit on her ass. Got shit all over my face. Is that sexual assault? Are you aware if there's shit all over your ass? Then she stalked me. Let's just assume they're not gang stalkers. Okay, let's veto the whole thing and say they're all gang stalkers, so it's not my fault. Hey, you sexually assault me when I'm a kid, terrorize me, physically torture me. You've set a different precedent for what my behavioral standard is. ChatGPT says that makes me not guilty. But let's just assume that, and you know, I would be guilty now. Okay, if I went out and sexually assaulted a girl now, I would be guilty because now I understand what gang stalking is. Now I have the full bird's eye view of what it is. So I have the informed part of informed consent. I can moderate my behavior now to say what's happening to me is happening to me. I'm not being gaslit. This is a criminal, or this is not society doing this to me. This is a criminal organization. So she sits on my face with shit on her ass. Can you tell if there's shit on your ass? I think you can. Then she stalks me to the fudge cookies aisle when I'm going to get fudge cookies. And she's basically stalking me, which I subliminally know, but I don't entirely know. So I'm like, yeah, okay. Now the one who, Elise, who I was, Elise had a stalker too. He's kind of famous actually in Toronto. He's a bit nuts. I think he might be a TI or just a crazy guy. I don't know, but I don't even want to talk. You might know him. You could find him if I told you who he is. You could find him, and I don't even want to say that because I don't want him to find me. He scares me a bit. But he seems nice, I guess. Elise seemed like a bit of a fraud. You know, she stalked me to a bar once after, and her stalker was there, and she grabbed me. This is after she dumped me. You know, we never had sex again after I was kind of pawing at her like that. And at least I don't think. Maybe it was one more time, but I think that may have been the last time. And then at the bar, she grabbed me. She's like, walk me out. This guy's stalking me. And she could have went to she felt safe with me, I guess. So how could I be a rapist if she felt safe with me? I don't know what the point of that was, you know. But anyway, I walked her out, and the guy came over. He said, "Are you living with anyone?" And oh my god. And you know, she was like remarkably friendly to him too. But anyways, after Elise and I had sex that time, I was like, I don't want to punch you. She said, "Thank you for fucking me like that." And I felt like I just felt dirty and weird. It just felt like really dirty and weird. But Elise had squirted on my face, and it went up my nose, and that kind of pissed me off. And I don't know if that was a misunderstanding, because squirt is just pee, and I didn't know that. There's female ejaculate, which is not that much, and then there's squirt, which is pee, which is a lot. And so I was expecting female ejaculate, because I was calling squirt female ejaculate. I didn't know squirt was actually just pee. And so she said, "It's going to be a lot," and she squirts all over my face. It goes up my nose, and it really hurts. Like, I have to plug my nose when I jump in the water. So that may have been why I did that, because I was angry at her. Like, you should have warned me that you're actually going to be literally pissing in my face. And then there was this other one, Ashley. And, oh man, she was kind of, well, we were hanging out in the basement, and I guess she wasn't in the mood, but she was still, I guess this doesn't really justify it. You know, she's just sitting beside me. She's not leaving. You know, she's in my house. She's not going to sleep. It's not like she needs to spend the night. She's just sitting beside me in the basement. I'm like making out with her. I don't really think that she was, you know, she was happy to make out with me. I kept making out with her and making it try to lead to sex. I don't think I ever really felt dirty about that. I think she was all right. You know, that was a good one. And then there was this other one. No, I think it was just those two. You know, there was this other one who came over, and she said, "What would you do if someone got pregnant? Do you believe in abortion?" She was like a hardcore evangelical, like a religious person. And I felt like so disgusting the way she was asking me that question, like she was testing me or something. But I don't think I really, and she was really bad. She was like teasing me and touching me. I think she was the sexual assaulter there. But anyway, so I was thinking, I was feeling bad last night. Like, I must have done something. I must have said something. Marina must have found something. And then I was thinking, well, it's not my fault. Like, wouldn't you understand? As a targeted individual, wouldn't you understand? And I'm at least telling, like, all my sins. Like, I'm a sinner. Like, I'm not perfect. Like, I'm telling all my sins in the effort of healing. And, like, can you say that? Like, can you say that every bad thing you've done, you can tell people? Like, can you have a full transparency about anything? And also say, like, I fucked up and here's why, and it's not an excuse. It's the reason. Like, it's the humiliate me, like, judge me. But here's the reason why. Like, let's look at the reason why this happens. Like, what happens when you like molest someone and torture them and terrorize them and like, what can you expect? Like, what would you expect when you human traffic a child all the way into adulthood? What would you expect when you human sex traffic a child all the way into adulthood? What would you expect their behavior would be like? Like, what would you expect? Are you fucking insane? Like, and then you blame them? Like, Zeph made a point. It's like, there's this group of people who want to have a permanent underclass of starving, poor, humiliated people. It's like I don't know if it's the world or just this group of Masonic pedophiles who want to have a permanent class of like starving people to look down on or something. I don't get it. But anyways, so yeah, I just figured I would say that so I could like kind of assert my self-respect. Because part of me was saying, and my mom said, good for you for saying that. Good riddance to Marina that she would tell me such a calloused way of breaking up. Just, hey, I can't handle this. Just out of nowhere, just randomly. And it really turned me on too. The fact that it was disrespectful, the fact that it implied that she was dishonest the whole time and not telling me that she had apprehensions, that she was hiding the fact that she was thinking of breaking up. I was like immensely turned on. And then I thought, really? That's what turns you on? Just being abused? Shouldn't you be turned on by how hot she is? But yeah, it did turn me on. It was exciting. Ooh, this is really exciting. Ooh. You know, the times I've come hardest thinking about her, and this is what a lot of the guys on Reddit were saying who got like severely abused. They said, I've been like a walking hard on ever since. I'm always turned on. I just can't stop. It's strange. And so yesterday I was thinking I should just go. I was really thinking I should just go to Switzerland. I had like it's no big deal. You know, it doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Everything's fucked. And then I watched these videos last night. It's petty. How to make your ex mad that they dumped you. And it was like, you do your own thing. You assert your self-respect. And so I was thinking, I hope that Marina comes back to me. I better tell her all these things that I did wrong. You know, that I was pawing at Elise and at this shit girl down the street. But then even without gang stalking, there's always a reason for it. Like, there's always like something, like you did something to me first. And if I was made a sociopath, which I arguably think I have been, then if you do something to me, I'm going to do the same back to you. But I wasn't thinking it from that perspective. I was thinking of it like, oh man, I owe Marina this. Like, I have to tell her all these bad things I did, because if she doesn't know, then it's like rape. If she's with me, that she doesn't know all these bad things I did, and then it's like I don't actually have her consent. And on a deeper level, I was thinking, and this like surprised me. I was like, what the fuck? Is that actually what I was doing? I don't understand myself sometimes. I feel like I have a wiser self. Do you know how your unconscious self is smarter than your conscious self? Like, your unconscious self has been evolving for like millions of years, and your conscious mind is like the newest part of you. And your unconscious self can kind of get the feelings first, and then later on it becomes conscious. So I've been saying all this, like every bit of incriminating thing that I can, like saying lots of things that would make someone not like me. Like, supposing Marina's mom is looking for dirt against me to make me unlovable to Marina. Like, saying like, well, I'm not sure I'm not sure what the point was. But okay, for example, saying I was in love with blonde girl and dance girl, and saying, but that's illegal, but we'll wait till later. Now that would be an inappropriate thing to say. You wouldn't just go up to someone who's underage and say, "Hey, later on when you're older, it's going to be really great." You wouldn't. That would be inappropriate. But I did have the excuse that they had just done some event, like I had just got some stalking with their family, and there are events that caused that. So I'm not really sure that's what it was. But I mean, I had told Marina about it as a way of telling her, like, just so you know, in case you ever find this, like, I wanted her to know, like, so she wouldn't find it one day and say, oh, you know what, you're actually a pedophile and I can't be with you. In which case, I was like, well, but how is that my fault? I'm not even saying that I just like to go around and find underage girls and say, hello, I'd like to marry you. It's not that. It's that they're breaking into my house. They're threatening to kill me. How is that consensual? That's like saying I'm in love with a rapist who's raping me. I just love rapists. I just love it when people rape me. Like, it's not the same thing. But I feel like I was saying all these things to justify myself to her. This is the whole crux of it. I was saying, here's all my sins, or all the things that appear as sins, so that you can have the full picture on who I am, and therefore you won't ever be surprised, and therefore you have full consent. And because I feel kind of scared you won't like me, I feel kind of guilty, like it's my fault. Now, in hindsight, I'm thinking, I already knew it wasn't my fault. And I already didn't have to justify it to her. And what I was doing was trying to say things that are so fucked up that she dumps me. I was trying to show her how bad it will look on her to be with me, so that she preserves her self-image, which I feel like she puts above my feelings, which I felt like the whole time, kind of. And because I'm just unable to dump people. For real. Like, I just can't dump people. Like, I really can't. Like, I'm just not capable of it. I sometimes really think that. Like, I'm like, oh, and by the way, the other day I took a shit and it was green. Do you still love me? Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I just keep saying things that sabotage it. I kind of feel like that because I've been scared to talk to her for a long time. And at first I thought it was just that I'm a baby, that I'm a big, I didn't realize what word I was saying. The reason I pronounced baby weird, baby, is because I didn't know what word I was saying until halfway through the word. I thought I'm just a coward. I'm just like And so, but as I got to know her more, I actually became like more scared of talking to her. Like, for a while, I was able to talk to her a lot, but then we'd have a date and she would like stand me up and she'd be kind of like laughing on the phone, like on the FaceTime, almost like it just feels she's like, call me at 6 tomorrow. And I'm like, I guarantee you're going to cancel. Like I know in my gut, you're going to cancel. Like, I know this is a humiliation ritual, whether you're a gang stalker or not. I know that this is a humiliation ritual. And so I thought it was a coincidence that at first I was scared to talk to her because I was just a baby. And then at second, when we got to know each other, I was also scared to talk to her because I was afraid that she was going to hurt me somehow, that she was just going to use me, basically use me. And it really put things into perspective. Like, there's been a lot of people who have used me like that. And I started to wonder, I wonder if the reason I was scared to talk to her the whole time was because we've been evolving for like millions of years, or I don't know how long, forever. I don't know. We've been evolving a long time to recognize who someone is immediately. And I wonder if I knew the whole time that she puts her self-image above people's feelings. And I was scared to talk to her the whole time because of that. Because I knew that she didn't have my best interest in mind. I mean, could that be it? Could that really be it? My mom was like, "You're a good person, you'll find someone." I was like, what if that's the reason I won't find someone? It's pretty lonely. Well, I'm not really that alone. There are some things that have happened since becoming single. I could talk shit about God again. I have to refill my water bottle. I'll be right back. Okay, so anyway, I have this cousin who's like really anti-religious, and she hates it when people talk about God. And at family Christmas party, we all said, "Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. Forgive us not our trespasses." And those, I can't remember the whole thing. I said, it pleased me at family Christmas. I texted her this. To wondering what you were thinking while family was reciting prayer. What I was thinking, quote, "We surrender to a higher power, and then some priest usurps the power, and as the mediator between you, the one praying, and the higher power, the priest plays the role of God, and the whole thing is about power and control and ultimately some kind of tyranny. And then it's also about conflating insanity, like I can believe in things I have no evidence for, that I'm simply making up to give me closure, and therefore I can do that anytime, anywhere. I can do any immoral act and just say, 'Some birds did it,' because nothing means anything, and I have the support of other cultists who agree that pure fantasy and projection isn't an infantile mental illness." And so that's what I think of God. Now, is Marina like a devout believer in God? Yeah. Does that make her ungodly? Yeah. Now, that's kind of a contradictory thing there, because I'm saying you got to be godly to be a human, to be a good person, you have to be godly, and yet God doesn't exist. Osho says that. I might just be copying him. He says God doesn't exist, but godliness exists. Godliness is your quality. Well, do I know godliness? Well, here's what I say. Here's what I define as God. Let's put it into terms, because God is such a vague term. Everyone has a different definition of God. So what are we even saying? Is it the creator of life? Someone who got out of a canoe and took a piss in the sky and now it's the raining? Terence McKenna, who I don't really like, he worked with the FBI. I don't really like him. He said, I ask about the creation about how the earth, the origin of the earth, and someone says, well, there was a guy in a canoe up in the clouds, and he woke up one morning and he had to take a piss, so he pissed out the side of his canoe, and that's how the rain got here. And Terence McKenna says, oh, gee, great, thanks, I'm glad I asked. Okay, so I intuitively don't feel like the earth was created. I can't explain this. I feel like it was always here. I don't believe there's an outside of space. I don't believe that space is inside a vacuum, that is just floating in the middle, and on the outside there's nothing. I don't think there's an edge of space. I think it's infinite. And so what I'm defining as God then, as godliness, I'll say, is feeling good. Good, God, just add an O, feeling good, really, feeling balanced. And it might seem a little bit too simple, because what is feeling good? Well, doing heroin feels good. Is that godly? Yeah, it might be, but then where's your godliness going to go when the heroin's done? It's going to go out the window. So it's more complex or more difficult than just doing heroin. It's like, how good are you at your worst when everything is going wrong? How much can you sustain your balance? Like, balance is another word for it. Like, how balanced are you? How complete do you feel? How do you feel complete onto yourself? Like the kingdom of God is within you. How complete do you feel? How total are you? Are you a total person, or are you lacking something? If you're if you're obsessed with sex, you're in either your feminine or your masculine energy, and you're always searching for the other, and you're not complete. Have you found the other inside of yourself? Have you found your feminine side if you're a guy? Have you transcended the needs of your sexuality? Have you moved up to the higher dimensions? Are you living just in your genitals? Are you living just in your belly? Are you living just in your ego? Like, have you transcended these things? Well, for example, a painter can be celibate. No, I don't want to be celibate, okay? I think it's almost better to get euthanized than be celibate. But just for the sake of argument, a painter can be celibate and they're not horny because they're creating. All their creative energy, their sexual energy is somehow going to a higher realm. I don't really understand the techniques of how it works, but it seems like pretty much in a general sense understandable that their sexual energy is being filtered through their painting. So they're not really like getting laid, but they're painting, and it makes them feel like creative, and that's fulfilling their sexual desires in a vicarious way, so they don't have to like be horny all the time. But a monk who sits in a cave meditating, he's just meditating on sex. The painter's not painting sex. The painter's painting mountains. The painter's not thinking about sex. They're in a state of orgasm, but it's a different kind of orgasm. It's like a more non-sexual, not just limited to the genitals orgasm. Like their energy has reached all their body. It's like gone up to their mind, I guess. I don't really know. I'm kind of guessing here. Their energy is like went beyond their genitals, and now as like a full expression of who they are, not just like in their genitals and their horniness, they're painting, and that's like their orgasmic state. Like they're in a state of ecstasy, and that's a different kind of orgasm. It's not the kind of orgasm that you would link up to sex. It's not like they're like having a boner while they're painting or something. But they're at a peak, like they're at like a really high peak of themselves. And so, like there's a saying, when the dancer disappears and only the dance remains, like when you're so enthralled in what you're doing. Now, I'm a bit scared right now. I don't know what I should do, because, I watched porn yesterday, and so today I've been punished. I got punished yesterday for watching porn, and this morning I got punished for that too. And, I called the Masons pedophiles in this video. I'm afraid they're going to break in and gas me for that. But it's not just them, it's the whole, I don't know who's running the show. Like, I don't know who to put at the top of it. Like, if it's Israel, if it's the CIA, if it's the FBI, I don't really know. If it's, like, as George Carlin says, an unofficial conspiracy where they don't need a formal plot. They all know without writing it on text that they have shared interests. But so at some points you don't want to say things because to tell your story, to help yourself heal and to help others heal, you're going to be punished for that, and you have to weigh it out. How important is it to you to tell your story, knowing that someone is going to gas you for it and like poison you or something. And, of course, I know, like, I was watching this video yesterday, and this guy who was talking about how to make your ex jealous or something. And I think that's petty. I don't agree with that kind of stuff. But in the moment when I was tired, I thought, yeah, I want to watch that. And he said, you just got to do what you want to do. You got to go work out. You got to do better with yourself. And what they want from you, the person who comes into your life to humiliate you, they want you to not go to, supposing you want to go to school, what they're going to say is, no, get a job. You shouldn't go to school. Everyone goes to school. It doesn't matter. Or supposing you want to lose weight, they're going to say, no, don't lose weight. It's just vain. And what they want to do is come back into your life and see that you're basically failing. And that's going to, and I even wondered, is Marina here? Is she trying to kill me? Like, not literally, like, by throwing me off a cliff, but is she trying to, like, make me, like, suffer? Like, is that, like, some kind of, like, deep-seated sickness on her part where she wants me to suffer? She wants me to feel bad about myself or something? I don't think so. But sometimes she was so calloused, it kind of gave me weird. It kind of gave me weird feelings. Like, she's so calloused that it was like, this is like very calloused. But in another video, that guy was saying the gang stalkers are obsessed with you because they look at you like a god. Now, I needed to hear this yesterday. I was really insecure. I needed to hear this. Because they did all these traps, like they put you in Squid Games, they put you in Hunger Games, and you won the Hunger Games. And so they have, like, immense respect for you. Now, I don't know how true this is, okay? But anyway, last night I enjoyed hearing this. They try to kill, they do all these things to you that are, like, horrifying, and you still survive it. And you survive it without even knowing what's happening. And so they're, like, obsessed with you. And what was the point of that? I forgot what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. And a lot of them, they're trapped into it. Now, I've talked about them being trapped into it, too. And so I don't really need to go back into that. They're trapped into it because if they don't do it, you could imagine how that would make sense, though, because it seems grandiose and narcissistic. Well, the gang stalkers are obsessed with me, and they idolize me. Okay, you can see how narcissistic that would sound. But think about it from this perspective. They put you through all these tests. They don't want to be gang stalking you, but they have to, or else they're going to become a TI. And they know if they become a TI, they can't handle how painful that is. But you could handle how painful it is. So wouldn't that make them obsessed with you? Wouldn't that make them look up to you? And so I always say they're human trafficked, so I can give them a pass. Like, I gave a pass to our tenant downstairs. I gave her a password. I told her the password to my Prime account so she can watch Prime Video, which has like, oh man, I hope I can watch season 2, episode 3 of Fallout on Wednesday. I don't know if my trial's good. I might keep Amazon Prime for a month, actually. I don't know. I got it for 99 cents for 7 days. Now, the other thing is, before Marina, I was still happy. That's another thing. Do you think I was happier before Marina or when I was with Marina? I was still happy. I would like a girlfriend, you know. I really would. I would like to have sex. That would be really great. But he said, and this was a perspective I hadn't thought of before, which is they're trapped into it psychologically, that they don't have the light of God. They don't have godliness. So they're stuck in some lower realm. They're stuck in their sex. They're stuck in their food. That's the highest dimension they've gone to. I did listen to Patanjali's The 5 Stages of Growth, and then there were like more things in that video where I couldn't remember them all. Like, there's the chakras. The first chakra is sex. The second chakra is food. The third chakra is the hara. The fourth chakra is the navel. The fifth chakra is the heart. The sixth chakra is the throat. The seventh chakra is the third eye. And the eighth chakra is the temple, or the sasar, the crown. I can't really remember the whole. It was like a 3-hour talk or something. And it went beyond Patanjali. I couldn't make sense of it all. But for someone who's at the lower realms, for someone who's like stuck at a lower part of their evolutionary, like their consciousness, for someone who's stuck in a low state of their consciousness through traumatization, through whatever, you know, that's why I know I could be gassed for saying the Masonic, the people running the show are pedophiles. And human traffickers and organ traffickers. But the reason I say pedophiles is because I think the whole thing comes down to that. I think that's what they like most, because that gives them the biggest hit of power. I mean, if you really whittle it down to its core constituents, what do they want most? They want someone to be really scared, really terrified, and really helpless. And they want to feel like they're important. Like, ultimately they feel like they don't matter. Like, their ultimate fear is probably that they don't exist. Like, if that makes sense. There was this book called Enlightenment is the Damnedest Thing by Jed McKenna. And he said the ultimate fear that everyone has is of not existing. It's like of dying. It's like that you're not even here. Okay, yeah. So it's like you want to assert that you're here. And so the best way to do that, to feel like you exist, like you're powerful, like is to get reverence from someone who is like helpless. And there's no one more helpless than a baby, like a child. So that's why they drink baby blood, so so to speak. Now, do they really drink baby blood? I don't know. I probably. Why wouldn't they? Like, as if they're beyond that. So if you're at a lower state of your consciousness and you have a handler who is bullying you and fucking with you and telling you what to do, they can make you feel really bad because you don't have the light of God. You don't have something else to keep you afloat. So therefore, they're psychologically trapped. I never thought it from that perspective either, that they're just at a lower state of consciousness, and in that state, that's the best they can do. I'm just getting a good song on here. Okay, well, is there anything else to talk about? Because I think we're pretty much done. We have 10 days to go, 10 days to go on the water fast. Oh man, I got enough sleep last night. That was pretty awesome. I feel like I'm just listing off things now. Yeah, I did this. I did the cat litter this morning. My mom did the dishes for me. That was really nice. I'm checking my blood pressure every morning now. Been getting enough water. I had a shit on day 10 of my water fast. That's pretty exciting. That actually helped me. I basically needed like no toilet paper for it too. It was kind of weird. But it actually helped me. On day 10, I was actually thinking, oh, I should quit or was it day 9? No, I think it was day 10. I was actually, I had all these feelings like I should quit. And when I took a shit, I was like, this is a really good sign. Because it means I'm hydrating my old material in my stomach, and I've been farting more. Ooh, and that's a really good sign too. Farting means you are breaking down the old stuff. Now ChatGPT says you could just be swallowing air. Yeah, maybe it's true. But why am I farting more on the second week? Wouldn't I have been swallowing air the first week too? I wasn't really farting on the first week. So I think I'm breaking down the stuff. 21 days might be a little bit short, but I really want to be done with this fast. Every one day you're fasting, it's like 5 to 10 times more fast or something. This is just a very rough estimate ChatGPT gave me. I said, okay, I know you say that mucoid plaque doesn't exist. ChatGPT says, yeah, there's old shit in the colon. Yeah, we agree. Impacted, hard, whatever you call mucoid plaque, it exists in the colon. ChatGPT acknowledges that. It doesn't call it mucoid plaque, but it says, yeah, there's hard, impacted, dried, old, decades old shit in the colon, but not in the small intestines. And I said, if it was in the small intestines, I know you say it's not, but just hypothetically, if it is, how faster would fasting be to remove it than eating? And ChatGPT was like infinitely faster, like 5 to 10 times faster. And then another time it said you wouldn't even be able to remove it at all without fasting, because fasting is different, that it dislodges it from the outside in, whereas when you're eating, you can't absorb the extra water to do that because your body's going to piss out the extra water because it needs to keep a tight electrolyte balance. Whereas when you're water fasting, you don't need that tight. Your electrolyte balance doesn't need to be so tight. So you can keep extra water to dislodge it from the out. The water goes into your stomach, through your stomach wall, into your blood, and then from your blood it goes into your intestinal tract, where it meets the part where your shit is stuck like a tube on your small intestines, and it dislodges it from the outside. So the tube still exists in its form, but it's just not stuck to the intestinal wall anymore. And then once you start eating, then it pushes it out. And so you have to do fasting, and you'll never get enough water to dislodge it if you're eating, because when you eat, you need a very tight electrolyte balance, and extra water is pissed out to preserve that electrolyte balance. So you actually have to fast to get it out. And before J.D. Rockefeller hijacked the medical industry, all the doctors in the world taught water fasting. So this whole thing with Marina, it may have been I may have been saying things just for us to break up. This may be a blessing in disguise. Now, if she, I'll still be checking my messages, looking for if she messaged me. I'm getting a package in the mail from her with like all our pictures together that she photoshopped, I can imagine. Like she said, she's sending me a surprise, and so I don't know what happened. Maybe she does love me, and maybe it's really true. Maybe she really does love me. Like, let me put this out there too, in case she's watching this. I also lost a subscriber. Maybe it was her. Maybe she really does love me, and her mom actually really does have control over her. Maybe she actually really is overwhelmed and she really can't handle it. Like, her mom seems like her mom probably has the ability to put her in the mental hospital. Like, she was like telling her mom, can you please let me visit Zach, and I'll promise you to FaceTime you every day and show you that I'm taking my meds. Like, she's under a lot of control. So I can actually say, like, from a loving perspective, that she's a good person. You know, I can really say that too. I don't just need to be like, oh, Marina sucks, fuck you, Marina. I don't have to say that. Okay, I can see it the other way, that she's just overwhelmed and she actually can't do it. Like there's actually people preventing her from doing it. Like, they're like, if you love him, we're going to make your life hell. And so, you know, I could see that too. In which case I can say, I wish you well. I hope you're well. I'm sorry. That really sucks. You know, I wish if I had a house, it might be different. You know, how much have I fucked up as a man? You know, I don't have a house. I don't have like a job. I could go back to school, but what will that do? Especially as a raw vegan, if I eat fruit, I could probably do school fairly easy. I could probably get a PhD as a raw vegan. I don't think I could do it eating pretzels and stuff like that. But if I eat fruit, I could probably pretty easily not easily, but I could probably get a PhD. But would I even want to do that? No, I would rather make fried rice. I would rather make fried rice and sell fried rice. MSG. But who's going to eat vegan? No one's going to eat vegan. You know what I would really like to do? See, here's how fucked I think people are. No one's vegan, okay? 99% of people are not vegan. Fuck you. If you're not vegan, fuck you. Okay, I'm only half joking, but fuck you. I don't really care, okay? Marina's not vegan. You know, I was going to marry Marina. Okay, it's my mom's not vegan. I love you know what I'm saying? Okay, I've been a vegan for over a decade. I'm not like, you better be vegan or fuck you. Okay. This is behind the scenes we're chatting here. And even behind the scenes, I don't hold judgment against people. But here's what I'm saying. So, no one's vegan. No one gives a shit. Now, what I would like to do is go down my street, put a note in everyone's mailbox. Say, hello, I'm Zach. As you know, I'm a victim of human sex trafficking. You are my trafficker. Okay, you're a human trafficker. And I don't really want to go to school, and I don't really want to get a job, a conventional job. But I have been to university. I have gotten through most of university. I almost have the first university. I don't know what it's called. Undergraduate or something. Almost finished university. I finished college. I have had jobs before. You know, I can work, and I do like some things. One of the things I really like to do is cooking. Going to the store, getting the ingredients. It's all fun for me. Making vlogs, it's actually really fun for me. Unfortunately, I'm vegan. I know you don't have any morals, so you're not vegan, so you won't even like this. But if you were vegan, I would really enjoy cooking in my own house, and you like Cash App me as your private delivery service and cook. And I will cook you a meal, and I'll even come get the dishes after. And I can make you fried rice, I can make you Alfredo, because now that they have vegan butter and vegan eggs, those are pretty much, they taste basically real. Vegan eggs and vegan butter, you probably wouldn't know the difference. Vegan breakfast sausage, you wouldn't know the difference. Some vegan burgers, you wouldn't know the difference. Vegan stuff is more expensive. So who would want to pay for that? But I mean, there's a lot of people, you know, with family, I think I'm friendly. You know, I'm friends with my ex caseworker at Ontario Works. Like that's like welfare, like government assistance. Sometimes I think I have the ability to be friends with like pretty much anyone I'm in contact with. And could I just tell them, look, I'm trying to make this small business for myself of cooking for people. Can I just cook for you? But then they're not vegan. And then how do I advertise it? Like if I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Z-Bubs. Check out my YouTube channel where I talk about sexually assaulting girls and being in love with underage people. You know, they're gonna and support my business. Oh, but don't worry, it's not my fault. It's the gang stalker's fault. Okay, even if they believe me, they're gonna be like, we don't want to associate with you. But maybe they will. You know, if they're actually the gang stalkers. Like if they're the ones doing it, they would be like, yeah, we understand. We'll buy your stuff. If you make it good, obviously, which I can. My mom's boyfriend was a professional chef. I could make it good. Like, you know, I was looking at fried rice videos last night, vegan fried rice videos. Jasmine rice and MSG and weird uga, like I'm just making this up, uga sauce, you know, some kind of special sauce that you don't even know exists. Like those kind of things. And with my mom's boyfriend, he could help me. He's like the best chef in the family. Like he was a professional. So he could really help me like dial it in, like get a recipe exactly down. That could be really fun. And have like, you know, just tell, but who wants to eat vegan? Like there's no one. Like supposing I even wanted to get a food stand at the market. How could I do it? You know, oh, vegan food. Everyone makes fun of vegan food. Yeah, okay, you know, you don't even know what you look like. When you're like, oh, vegan? I'll pass. You don't even know what pain is. Nor do I. Like, I haven't been, like, fucking treated like a farm animal. But I've probably been through more pain than you. You know, you don't know what pain is. Like, and you're, like, laughing like a pig getting suffocated. Like you are not cool. Like you're popular. You look very from someone who actually sees you. Like you don't even understand what you're doing. Like you don't even see yourself. Like laughing at the suffering of others, and your only get out of jail free card is that there's no punishment that comes to you. Like it's not to be violent and cruel against weak and defenseless creatures. That doesn't look good on you. That doesn't help you. And you don't even understand what you're doing. If you understood what you're doing, you wouldn't do it. You look like a fool, actually. But, you know, everyone will support you. And everyone's like, yeah, the vegan food sucks, right? Look, they're making vegan meat. I guess meat really is good. Okay, sure thing. Yeah, you know what the best tasting meat is? It's children. Straight up. If you wanted to actually eat the best meat, it's humans. It's human children. For real. There are Western people who have been kidnapped by cannibal tribes who attest to this. A story I heard from Osho. Osho brought up the point, why don't you eat people? Human flesh is the most delicious. What's to stop you? Your only criteria is, well, what tastes the most delicious? Why don't you eat people? You'll say, because that's unethical. Is that really true? Or is it because you would get in trouble? Is it because you'd get punished? What if it was legal? What if you could eat people? Well, you would human traffic people, that's legal. Human sex trafficking people is legal. Human sex trafficking children is legal. As long as you're the authority, you know, obviously it's not legal for like someone who's not like part of the club. Like if you're not a Mason or like a secret society member or the FBI, if you don't work for the government, it's illegal. But are there any human traffickers who don't work for the government? I don't think so. So what's your real reason for not eating people? And maybe because you don't rank high enough. in the Illuminati? Because you don't rank high enough in the establishment, that you're not allowed to, you haven't gained the badge credit. You're not high ranking enough that you can actually drink a baby's blood. That's your real reason. You're not allowed. Well, anyway, that's not, I'm trying to be wholesome. I'm not trying to be fucking heavy here. Okay, I'm saying I would like to work, but I don't want to do some bullshit. I've already done that. I would like to cook. I think that would be fucking amazing. Okay, and the other option, advertise to the whole city somehow, because there are vegans in the city. 1 out of 100 people is vegan. Yeah, okay. Well, that means there are a lot of vegans around. There are enough vegans. What if you have the best vegan food? Can I cook better vegan food than the average vegan? Yeah. I hope. I mean, maybe not, but I mean, I think so. Am I capable of it with my mom's boyfriend's help? Yeah. Oh yeah, I bet I can. With certain videos on YouTube that I've been watching. Yeah, I think so. That would be super fun. Now, would the gang stalkers help me? I don't know. I do agree, probably most gang stalkers don't like gang stalking. For example, our neighbors punished me. They honked their horn when I woke up. They honked their horn after I woke up, not before. That's courteous. It's courteous. I understand it's courteous. They could have done it before. They could have woken me up. So would the gang stalkers want to help me? Maybe. Would they help? How would they help me? By just not sabotaging? That's the most I can hope for. Well, I don't know. The real thing is not being put on by someone, it's not being helped, is can you actually cook food that's actually so delicious that people actually would like it? Because there are stories like that where someone's like, yeah, I started this home cookie. I could make cookies too. I started this home, they say I started this home bakery thing where I made cookies in my apartment, and now it's like viral. And now, like, these might be outliers, but now I'm like famous, and now I have my own cookie shop, and etc., etc. Or making soap or something. I mean, after 11 days of water fasting, your brain gets really clear. And Lauren healed this guy. He had stage 4 testicular cancer. He fasted for 4.5 months. He was fat. By the end of his fast, they could find no cancer. There was this other woman with multiple sclerosis. She cured her multiple sclerosis in 21 days. Lauren was like, you really should do 26 days. She was like, yeah, I know I agreed to do 26 days, but it's already cured. She's like, I feel more clear now than I've been in like a decade or more. She was a professor. She was really good. She could read lips. She was a deaf professor. And she lectured in a hall of like hundreds of students, and she could read their lips from a distance. And they eventually had to fire her, or like let her go, because her multiple sclerosis made her incapable of her doing her job. And so she came to do the water fast, and she quit after 21 days because she said, I'm already cured. And Lauren said, the straw that broke the camel's back, it may have just been that one straw that got removed. And you might just fuck up one time on your diet and all the symptoms are going to come back. So you really should go the full 26 days, like we said. Like, he's like, for curing multiple sclerosis, you need 26 days. That's what we typically do with people with that. And then like months later, she emailed him and she's like, you were right. I messed up a little bit on my diet, and a whole bunch of my symptoms came back. But the point is, after like 10 days of a water fast, or 11 days, you feel so clear. Like, your clarity is like fucking crazy. And you have to get enough sleep, of course. Yesterday, I didn't have enough sleep. It was really bad yesterday. Yesterday, I was apathetic and despondent, and it was really fucked up. But in the state I'm in now, I'm thinking to have a girlfriend, it would really be nice to have my own place. It really would. Even with I live with my mom, but even sometimes when she visits her boyfriend, she goes to his place where they can be alone. Like, it's not that cool to, and I could build a tiny house on the lot beside us. You know, that would be cool. But I would like to do something. I don't know what it is, but I haven't felt like this in a long time because I felt like such a victim and like everything is fucked. And I don't just want to do something I hate as well. I hated school. I hated the jobs I've had. I liked being a cashier. I was a cashier a few times, but I hated doing factory work and I hated school, and I don't know if I'd want to do that again. It was just, I hated what I was learning. None of it made sense. I just memorized it, but it didn't make sense to me. I thought, this is all political. This is all just fucking nonsense. Okay. So, yeah, vegan cookies. And vegan everything else. Vegan takeout. That could be an idea. Vegan food stand. Maybe it's a pipe dream. I don't know. There's already a vegan store in our city called Coven. It's pretty good. They have vegan chicken wings and vegan bacon, and they have everything vegan. It's not, but it's expensive. But my stuff would be expensive too. What's the difference? You know, I'm just food delivery. What's the difference? You know, I prepare it for you. Well, yeah, cooking is, you know, I like cooking. I fucking love cooking. I actually want to cook for my mom right now. I want to say, like, can I make you Alfredo? I want to get vegan Parmesan and butter and roast some garlic. You know, there's all this stuff I want to make. Yeah, that's fun for me. That's really fun for me. Okay. Or is it just a craving? I'm just vicariously satisfying a craving. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for watching. If Marina's watching, you're welcome to message me again. Okay, I don't know if you're humiliating me or if you're actually overwhelmed with your life. But if you are, feel free to if you're actually overwhelmed, feel free to message me again. And if you're actually overwhelmed and you can't message me, that's totally cool too. And I wish you well. Okay, goodbye.